Okay, so I'm here with Kody Merritt. Good to see you
Good to see you,
ahead of
Tom.
your match with Jerry Carteret. Now, this was like a late announcement for this match. When did you find out that this match was going to happen?
I would say a couple days before they announced it. Like it was, I didn't know. Originally, when Robert had approached me about a match, he was looking for a match for Oleg Jacques,
Oh, wow.
left-handed, and I mean, that's a scary match, period, for anybody, just because of who he is, left-handed especially. And I thought, well, sure. I mean, it's almost a lose-lose for me because if I lose to a little guy, I I have no business being in an arm wrestling. If I beat a little guy, I'm just picking on the little guys. So, but those people that know who he is know that that's not true. Like what, 5 years ago, he was the number one ranked lefty in the world over
Yeah,
everybody.
for sure.
So, but then that kind of didn't work. They couldn't get visa stuffs, and and Jerry told Robert that he'd like to pull left-handed,
That's
and
interesting.
kind of worked that way.
And you mentioned on the podcast that you had pulled him back in the WAL, I believe, on the left arm.
2016, I think it was.
And that was in a double elimination tournament.
So what it was is the way the WAL worked is they had their brackets were like one side of the bracket here, and the winners of each bracket pulled for first, second. The losers of each bracket pulled for second or third and fourth.
Gotcha.
Jerry and I pulled for third and fourth that day. Jerry thought he took second, but he and I were in the lower part of that bracket. And we were in the finals for the third, fourth position. And everybody, and people that don't know how Jerry arm wrestles, he does the exact same thing left-handed, he does
okay.
right-handed.
And you mentioned, did you have a small injury from that match, or did?
Yeah, my elbow popped, like that elbow issue that all arm wrestlers go through at one point. It popped middle of that match, and I don't remember if I fouled or he fouled, but we ended up restarting the match, and I didn't have anything left after that.
Was it a pretty significant injury? Did it take a lot of time to recover, or was it not too bad?
I want to say like it bruised up pretty good, but it was maybe a month or two of healing. It was that normal little like tendon pop you get in your elbow.
Gotcha. As far as like stylistically, have you prepared a specific approach against him for this match?
Yeah, I mean, I've pulled other shoulder rollers, and I have an idea of what needs to happen. If you get out in his fingers and just try to simply go backwards and top roll, you're going exactly where he kind of wants you to. He's going to give his wrist up. So it's a matter of trying to maintain some sort of lower position on his hand to eliminate all of that flop press and keep him off of his shoulder. So if I can keep him outside of his shoulder instead of in here, I have a much better.
So grip him a little lower, get on his arm more. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident would you say you are in a victory?
Oh, goodness gracious. I do feel like I'm the favorite. I should win this match, but again, people don't understand who, like, Jerry has a left hand and it's really good. I don't know. I am confident, but it depends. If we get in a war, that's all the better for him. I have dropped some weight. My cardio is a little better, but there's a difference between him sitting on a shoulder rest, like resting there, and me like going as hard as I can sideways to try and pin him. So I don't know, maybe a 7,
Cool.
confidence.
Cool.
It doesn't sound very confident, but
Okay. Now you're kind of, I would say, more known as a left arm specialist, right? So I want to ask you about some of the other left arm matches, such as Tobias, obviously, and then there's the Pablo and Corey West match.
Yeah.
What are your opinions on both of those left arm matches?
Well, not only are they left arm matches that I love, they're also super heavyweights, which intrigues me even more because then I get to see where people are. Corey and Pablo are both really good friends of mine. Like I would consider both of them dear friends, and I'm friends with both their spouses. My wife is friends with their spouses. They're just really, really good people. I would not, I said this in the podcast earlier, I would not be surprised if either one of them won. Pablo is the biggest human I've ever seen him to be, and he's like 110% muscle. Like, it's insane how thick he is. He weighs 290 something pounds and still has a full six pack. Like, he's insane.
Definitely a monster. What about the Tobias and Kardashev match? How do you see that one going?
I honestly think that Tobias is he might be too fast for Alex. Tobias is one of the fastest super heavyweights you've ever seen. He's incredibly quick. If he can explode through Alex like he has in the past with others, I think it's going to be tough for Alex to stop that hit.
Mm-hmm.
They're both top rollers. They're probably going to end up in a strap. It's going to go. I really think it's going to come down to speed, and if Alex can stop that hit, that's what. But I think, and I like both of these guys too. They're both good guys. I'm going to lean a little bit more towards Tobias personally.
Gotcha. I want to ask you about Alajan's left arm, because obviously you've pulled him, and they're talking about obviously a match with him and Vitaly for the #1 spot. So
they should, yeah.
How do you think that one would go? Have you ever gripped up with Vitaly on the left? Do you have any?
I have no data on Vitaly at all, other than what everybody else does just by watching him.
For sure.
My thoughts though is Alajan, that shorter lever, it's going to be hard for Vitaly to get that long lever and get up on top of Alajan's hand. And Alajan is crazy. When I arm wrestled him, I went into that match thinking I'm the bigger person. I had studied all of his matches before, like the world championships and stuff, and it seemed like his wrist and hand were untouchable. So I was worried about his hand and not so much his arm. I thought, I'll have the stronger arm. I'm a bigger, more powerful person. Well, our first match, ready to go, I hit him, 3 or 4 inches from the pad on my side. He just one single move drugged me all the way back across the pad.
Just crazy explosive, it seemed like, huh?
And then I realized I had to maybe think something else. I started going backwards, and I was able to take his hand a couple times. And so I went into that match completely backwards. I had the better hand, but he had a much better arm than me. And I know Vitaly is an amazing top roller. I just don't know if with his long lever, if he can,
stay in the hand or low hand top roller.
Well, yeah, and not be wide open. Yeah, I think it'll open him up.
As far as your goals with competing in EVW on the left arm, are you looking to climb the rankings? Obviously, before the interview started, we talked about you're trying to lose weight, lose fat, and have a good body composition. What's the goal moving forward with competing?
To be 100% honest, the main reason I started this weight loss journey is my back sucks. Like, it's terrible. I've been to a few different doctors trying to figure out how to fix it. And none of them have had any for sure, this will be a fix. And I just thought, well, I'm going to try and do something physically, like try to get in shape to help do it.
Has it been improving? How do you feel at a lighter body weight now? How are you feeling?
It is better, but the problem's still there. It's just now I'm fitter. Like, I do cardio 3 times a week, and I know I'm in better shape. I know my body fat percentage is way down, but the back is still there. I don't know. I started for that reason, but I'm continuing for other reasons. Like, arm wrestling is super important to me, but right now, being the best Kody I can be is more important. And having the body composition in a healthy spot is more important than being ’1 in the world arm wrestling right now.
Gotcha. How many years have you been arm wrestling? What year did you start? And has it been consistent all the way through, or were there any breaks?
This year I want to say is 30 years. I want to say it's right around 30 years. But there was like a 9.5 year break in the middle. I went through a divorce. I had to deal with some stresses there, and arm wrestling just wasn't super important to me until my wife and I were watching WAL on TV, and It was middle of 2015 when WL was kind of big.
So you were only like a year or two back in the sport when you faced Jerry.
I was less than a year.
Okay.
I competed in my first match back. Well, we watched that WAL and Travis won, got $20,000, and Eric Waffel took second. And I had beaten Eric Waffel back in the day, like I was better than him. And I looked at my wife and I said, "That's my money." And so I just thought, I asked her, "Do you mind if I start training?" And she's like, "No, go for it." And so my first tournament back was September of 2015. And I want to say I pulled Jerry in like June or July of 16.
Gotcha. So
in
10
Vegas.
Years. So would you say your shape is a lot better now than it was 10 years ago?
Oh yeah. I want to say I'm stronger. I won a world championship since then. I've done a lot of pretty good things since Jerry and I arm wrestled, and I'm much fitter. And so Jerry's also down some weight as well. So it's going to be kind of interesting that
how the endurance will play out at the lighter body weight.
For sure. So I'm excited about the match. I really am.
For sure. A couple more questions I want to ask. Since you started arm wrestling in the 90s, what's your take on like where the sport is now, obviously 30 years later, how it's grown so much?
Well, I'll tell you, social media has been amazing for the sport. You get people that can have platform. You yourself, you understand this. It's what you do. It has made our sport amazing. Devin has single-handedly, like with his platform, brought people into the sport that never had any idea of who it was or what it was or who he is.
Right.
I mean, you got a bunch of loudmouths like Travis that people can't stand for the most part. But no, I think social media has done a tremendous deal for our sport for sure, and it has made it way better. Like I remember receiving like folded up tournament
flyers
in the mail.
Gotcha.
And every time, like I used to put on tournaments back in the day, and I'm like, "Hey, put your address down here so I can mail out flyers every
now it's
time."
All online.
Now, you just if you're not on Facebook or something, you really have no idea when a match is. So
for sure. Final question: do you have any final statements you want to make to Jerry, or any statement to the fans? Any last words before the match in 2 days?
I'm not a trash talker by any means. I feel like as soon as someone starts trash talking, then they got to look like an idiot when they don't perform. Jerry's a legend. He is. He's been in this sport longer than I have. He's accomplished some amazing things. But he's kind of coming to my side of the world. Left hand is what I do, and I'm confident, but I know who he is. I understand who he is, and I understand what he can do, and I'm excited for it for sure.
Awesome. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.